By the way, now that prostate is in the news, as a complete aside, I just learned from a guy in healthcare. He does genome mapping for health insurance industries, something evil, but it's pretty cool also because they can test to see what you do and don't need tests for, because they're finding like not every woman really needs to get a mammogram every year. Only certain women with certain genetic markers, and those women should probably get them earlier than they're even getting them. But he and I were talking about prostate cancer being another example of one of these, and then told me that they don't do the finger in the butt anymore, the digital prostate exam.
All right, let's take a look.
Hey, just what the hell do you think you're doing?
Because they found out that it doesn't really do anything. So there's generations of men who had a finger up the butt for no reason every year. And there's a whole generation of men who doesn't even know that this test was found to be completely unnecessary. This is the funniest thing, I think, is that they just quietly stopped doing it and never told anyone that it was unnecessary because they didn't want all these boomers and Gen Xers to know they've spent a lifetime getting a finger up their butt for no reason at all. They just backed into the bushes like Homer Simpson. They were like, oh, all these studies came out. They were like, it actually doesn't really detect anything. It's usually the blood test, which is what everybody gets now. And guys, if you're still getting a finger in the butt from your doctor, it's because they want to do that. I would definitely push back and say, doctor, is this really necessary? Unless, of course, you like it, in which case, carry on. And I will say, because everything is political, we're about to find out how many men in America have had prostate cancer, because now prostate cancer is the latest culture war thing. Lots of men are arguing about prostates in the mentions. And probably in these mentions, anything that becomes a news cycle inevitably becomes political. And so there will be bros on the left with prostate cancer who will be defending Joe Biden's late diagnosis of this. And there will be bros on the right with prostate cancer who will be posting their PSA scores and saying, see, we've been monitoring this for years. How did he just find out? Suddenly, everyone trusts doctors again. Everyone believes the experts. Everyone's appealing to authority. And everyone is full of shit. But there are some real questions to be asked. Like, how long did they know that he had prostate cancer? Did they know this and still decide to run him again? How much did they know? Did they know he was in mental decline and had cancer and still decided to fucking ride this train into destruction? This guy was in charge of America for the beginning of the Ukraine war, October 7th, the disastrous withdrawing from Afghanistan, and on and on and on. And we don't even actually know if he was running anything. So who was actually in charge? I think it's a fair question to ask. And why would you think it was okay to run this guy again, knowing that he might be dying of cancer and his brain is turning into pudding? They're like, he's got a better chance than Kamala. And they're not wrong, but they should have offered somebody up. They probably should have done a primary and allowed someone to run. But maybe Kamala was blackmailing them. Maybe she knew all of this and she was like, if you don't make me the fucking nominee, I'm going public with all this shit. Your brain is pudding and you've got cancer in your
In your butt.
In your butt. And it's crazy that the only reason the Bidens haven't faded away into obscurity is not just because Dr. Jill Biden refuses to. It's because the people who assisted in the cover-up are now trying to sell books about the cover-up to cover their own asses and make money. They're like, we're mad they lied to us. Can you believe it? Yeah, we can believe it. We all told you the guy's brain was pudding. I really do think that Dr. Jill released this stuff in advance of this book just to stir shit up. If they're trying to get sympathy, I don't think it's going to work. But if they're trying to just, if someone's trying to like throw a bomb in this and be like, oh, now you've got to explain this cover up of this other cover up. She's like, if Joe's going down, I'm taking all of you assholes with me. We are just a couple of news cycles away from finding out that Biden has been dead for 3 years already, aren't we?